So you get the idea. Pick up a copy of Trickle Down Tyranny. It's now on sale. I'll be reading it over Passover, which starts Friday night, although who knows, I may even be done it by then. Anyhow, let me welcome in studio Bob Guzzardi, my co-host today, and the editor of the Liberty blog, which can be found at thelibertyblog.org. Bob, welcome.
Thank you. The conventional media, particularly in the Southeast, has a narrative that distracts from the electoral choices that voters have on important issues relating to the Pennsylvania State House and the Pennsylvania Senate elections. The primary election is coming up on April 24th, and there are several very interesting primary races, other than the ones that Adam discussed about Joe Rooney versus Allison Schwartz. Those aren't really primaries. Joe is the only person on the ballot. Allison Schwartz is the only person on the Democratic side. However, at the local levels, there are significant races. These races set the stage for what happens in Pennsylvania and then nationally. For example, Rick Santorum, it will be on the presidential ballot on April 24th. His performance on that date will dictate whether he goes ahead, whether he drops out, and colors the entire dynamic of the presidential race. But Rick Santorum's performance is largely predicated on the stage that is set at the municipal level, at the county level, and at the state level. Today I'd like to talk about several state-level races that are, in my opinion, extremely important. The first one relates to our guest today, Roger Howard. Roger Howard is a PhD in chemistry. He has actually earned a patent from the U.S. Patent Office. He is a vet, and he is not a career politician. He has never held political office. He has been tangentially politically involved for the last 4 or 5 years as a concerned citizen, but not as an active political participant. He has chosen to challenge Dominic Pileggi. Dominic Pileggi is the Republican majority leader of the Senate of Pennsylvania. It is an extremely powerful position. Senate leadership, and in particular Senator Pileggi, set the agenda. That means they determine what gets voted on and what doesn't get voted on. If a bill is introduced but is not voted on, the tree in the forest may or may not make a sound, but a bill that is introduced and not voted on has no impact whatsoever. It is Senator Pileggi and the Republican leadership, mostly his supporters and cronies, well, crony might be too strong a word, but his inner network is who set the stage and determine what will be voted on and what won't be voted on. In the particular race of Roger Howard versus Senator Pileggi, there is a clear alternative. The one alternative is Senator Pileggi, who is union financed. The other alternative is Roger Howard, who is the candidate of the principled grassroots. In some cases, he has Tea Party support. He is the representative, in my opinion, of the taxpayer. The taxpayer, the tax maker, is the productive citizen who works, saves, and invests. Those investments go into job-creating businesses that produce the goods we want and provide the services we want, provide them and produce them at affordable prices that we can and are willing to pay. It is the voluntary free market cooperation. That is one view. Senator Pileggi looks at politics as a negotiation between various factions, not necessarily what will result in what is best for Pennsylvania. And in my opinion, if we look at the statistics, we see that Pennsylvania is going in the wrong direction. For example, the Commonwealth Foundation points out to us that the Pennsylvania state employees retirement system and the state employee retirement system, the PSERS, P-S-E-R-S, is the teacher union pension plan, and the SERS, S-E-R-S, state employee retirement system, is the retirement system for all other state employees. Pennsylvanians today owe $121 billion in state and local debt. That is the debt, that the entire debt. The PSERS and SERS project that the total taxpayer contribution for their two plans will increase from $1.7 billion in 2011-2012 to more than $6.1 billion in 2016. That's 4 years from now, a 257% increase. The pension payments in 2016 to 17 will represent 12% of the general fund, up from 4%. The more money that is siphoned into the pensions is obviously siphoned from someplace else, and that siphoning comes from the Pennsylvania taxpayer. That is the productive taxpayer who creates jobs, works, invests in these businesses. We are taking money away from investment in creative and productive businesses and transferring it to a pension plan that is underfunded and overpriced. There have been proposals to change the plan from a defined benefit plan, which means a guaranteed amount goes to the pensioners, to a defined contribution, which means a certain amount goes into the plan every year, somewhat similar to the 401k plan, where a defined contribution is made. Frankly, with the miracle of compound interest, it can be a very, very beneficial result for the person who is willing to save. The issues come down to whether you are going to vote for the Union Party. Senator Pileggi is union financed. He is well known for getting $47 million from the state budget to finance the soccer team, a private company in Chester County, which in the city, near the city of Chester in Delaware County. This is called the Union, which should be an idea of who and why is benefiting from this particular $47 million, which also included an initial $10 million from the Delaware River Port Authority, which is supposed to manage the bridges. One asks what the soccer teams have to do with bridge management, but that's a question that politicians can answer, not I. Plus another $30 million in guarantees from Delaware County, the Delaware County government, which means the Delaware County taxpayers. In essence, the taxpayers have financed most of the stadium, and few taxpayers actually reap the result. The purpose of the investment was, of course, to generate support for Senator Pileggi from the unions, who built the stadium at prevailing wage at the expense of the taxpayer. So you have two choices here: the Union Party, which drives the pensions and drives much of the prevailing wage construction in Pennsylvania, and the Taxpayer Party, represented by Roger Howard. So on April 24th, you have a clear choice. We will be presenting more on the primary elections. These are targeted at the Republican voter primarily, although I will have something to say about the Attorney General's race later. Adam, back to you.